Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to thank my colleague from Elmwood-Transcona for his speech and also his interventions with other members of this House. You know, we have been studying this issue in depth at the Agriculture Committee. I've had the chance to question multiple CEOs, notably Galen Weston of Loblaw. And I think the problem is that, you know, we can see the data and, you know, everyone talks about like small margins in the grocery sector. The fact of the matter is, Madam Speaker, is that they have actually doubled since the pandemic. And they are making record profits. And they do have gross amounts of executive pay. I think Mr. Weston's compensation is 431 times the average salary of his employees. And we know from unions representing grocery workers that in many cases, those workers cannot afford to shop at the places that they work at. None of the CEOs could tell me how many of their employees are using food banks to get by. And so through you, Madam Speaker, just to add on to my colleague's speech, I'd just like to hear his thoughts on the fact that through both Liberals and Conservatives, we have a policy over the last 40 years of too much corporate deference in this country and not enough hard analysis of how we are letting corporations get away with this, because Canadians are being asked to shoulder the blame while corporations are continuing to make a lot of money off their backs.
I remember Elmwood-Transcona.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you to my colleague who's done so much work on this. And I think Canadians do see that they have just a handful of companies that largely control their access to food, which is something they can't decide just to do without, and that the leadership of those companies don't feel any sense of responsibility for the fact that their incredible money-making power, which has grown, as the member for Cowichan Malahat Langford has pointed out, has grown over the last number of years. They don't have any sense of responsibility for the fact that they're the ones who control the food. This isn't just another product on the market. This is Canadians' access to the basic necessities of life. And they've been allowed to do that for exactly the reason that my colleague identified, which is a sense of just deference. Well, if you're a big company, you must be doing something right and we don't want to get in your way. But we have to do better in Canada than to allow a handful of companies that control our access to food to single-mindedly pursue the highest return to their shareholders, because it's Canadians that are getting burned.
Resuming debate, the